Hello, hello. Everybody hear me out there all right? Okay. If you don't hear me at all, I might check back here and make sure I'm still here. Anybody know how to drive a jet boat? All right. Here we go. We'll get you guys cooled off as soon as we can get out there. So I highly recommend anybody with hats, turn them around backwards, any electronics, anything like that. They can get wet, just be aware of that. Especially the hats. Turn them around backwards or cinch them on real tight. I can't turn around for them, they generally don't stay floating. I've tried, the other day I tried to do a man overboard actually on my own hat. Yeah, the captain lost his own hat. But we were doing a rescue on something else and it got away from me and we were unable to get it. So we just don't try. It just doesn't happen. Oh, we're free. Free from the dock. All right, we're on our way. So as we travel along here, let me give you a little idea what the ride's going to be like. We're going to be turning left, right, up, down. We'll do spins. We'll do a thing called wallaroo. All of them are going to get water in the boat and cool you off. And we do anything that's kind of aggressive, which I would consider our spin. I will give you guys 3 honks on this little horn. Not that one, this one. 3 honks. If I just do 2, I'm just saying hi to somebody. 2 is hi. 3 is hang on. And I'll also say it's spin time. So now that we're out here, let me introduce myself. My name is Keith. This is my 3rd season back here for Willamette Jet Boats. I've been operating boats for about 40 years. I've operated all kinds of vessels, big ones, little ones, jet boats, been all around to Alaska, all the way down to South America. We just love it. Boat captaining's a great job to have. I live in Las Vegas during the winter time. It's 115 there next week, and it's definitely not a great place to be. And as a captain, there's nowhere to be operating boats there. There's Lake Mead, but nothing professional. And our Lake Mead is slowly running out of water. So I've been enjoying coming north where there's plenty of water and all you find folks to come out here and have a good time with. So as we travel along here, if I see rough water, I'll be slowing down for it or making maneuvers around other boats. You guys will get used to it and see what I'm doing. Try and give you the smoothest ride possible, which is generally pretty smooth. When I need to throw tricks, I got to find pretty smooth water, so always be making some adjustments to make that be as fun as possible. So we got to head along here to get past that gray building that's on our right. That is our local fire station with 2 fire boats in it, fire rescue. They're fantastic if we have any kind of emergency. Anybody out here, they're so quick to respond as those boats are right there in the water ready to go. But they certainly do not like it if we come by high speed and wake them out. Most of my driving on the river, you'll see me continually turning around things, and that is so we try not to wake everybody out. We run 3 boats here. We have 3 of these custom-made jet boats, and they're about 1,500 horsepower. We actually have 3 Raptor engines from Ford Raptor pickups who had them custom-made to work in a boat, and they're connected to water jets. So basically, it's like a giant jet ski. If anybody's ridden a jet ski. We got 3 of them. It's a whole lot of fun. They're highly maneuverable. Unlike any other boat, we actually do have brakes, so I can stop this boat instantly if I need to. And if you guys see something that I might be doing that, definitely make sure you got a hand in front of you. And I'll always let you know when we're doing anything fun. Make sure everybody stays put. You guys in the front row especially, I want to go and see you practice that handhold. You 2 in the front, practice that handhold for me. I need to see it. Alright, as long as I see you hanging on like that, we'll be able to throw tricks. If I don't, I'm going to have to wait till you guys hang on. As soon as I do one spin, you guys will get to feel what it's like, and you'll realize how we have you hang on makes a whole lot of sense. Everybody ready to get on? All right, let's do it. Take a minute here and idle along, talk about things. So we're going to be talking about a lot of the bridges along the trip today, and a lot of industrial stuff, and a lot of cool ships are downriver that we're going to look at down at Swan Island. So this is the steel bridge. This is the oldest operating and the oldest and only double lift train bridge. So the top can independently lift separate of the bottom. So if we were a tall vessel coming along, I could call the tender that lives in the house right there, and he would raise just the bottom and we could go by and the upper traffic would be uninterrupted. It is the only one of its kind in the world. It was built in 1912, still fully operational. Now it's the second bridge in this location. All the bridges are usually the second or third one in these locations, as they were all wood way back in the day. All right, here we go. Trying to do a Wallaroo, but we gave you a little spin there, nice light one, so you got kind of a feel for it. There'll be definitely more of those, and we'll definitely turn up the spin intensity along the way. We're going to start out gentle on you guys and make sure everybody's good, and then we'll turn it way up on the finale. Alright, so what we're looking at here is this area of Portland is the largest exporter of grain, and this is one massive grain terminal. Very, very fertile land, as this whole river valley was flooded by the Missoula floods many, many times. Well, when lakes or rivers form in areas, they make the ground real fertile, so we grow so much grain in the fertile eastern area of the state, and that all comes in by train, and then it is offloaded onto barges and or big grain ships. A giant silo stores it all up, and then these big conveyors just lower their hoses right down and fill these boats up. It's pretty cool. Sometimes they're in here, it's fun to see them. All right, we are the largest exporter of grain. We're a major importer of cement. We do not have our own materials very abundant like some areas might to make our concrete. So we have to import it. And this giant ship here, Global Eternity, and many others will pull right up like this. Now when it got here, it was all the way up to the black. The whole red part was submerged, the water line. Right ahead of us is a gigantic vacuum cleaner. Yes, that is actually a vacuum cleaner. A little more industrial than your Hoover at home. And they'll put the hoses down into the boat, and it's done by remote control because it can be very dangerous if you suck somebody up or something you didn't want to. Now it'll suck it right up and move it into the silos. Then it gets dispersed out around commercial cement companies, concrete companies to get made into our cement. The lines going overhead to secure the boat, they're called lines as they're attached to a boat. When they're just laying on the ground, they're called ropes. Most of you mariners would probably know that, and if you don't, now you do. And the funny little discs you see there, right where the lines go into the vessel, that is to keep friendly little rodents from stowing away to head out to Asia on the boats. And if Asia brought us some, that makes them stay right where they came from. So we've got our own little way of keeping the animals under control. Alright, we're going to come around here, make sure we got no traffic, go for a little ride up downriver would be, heading north, but downriver. There was a big commercial construction crane here we had to slow way down for, but he looks like he's gone, so we're good to go. at the end. So, besides to give you guys a little bit extra ride, we always do an hour and 2 hour ride, so I just started taking off all the way down the river. But normally we turn around right here at this bridge, so that's all right. You guys get a little longer ride. So looking at this, this is the wonderful Fremont Bridge. And as we're often known as Bridge City, so as all these architects all wanted to outdo each other, so they'd make them all different ways. And this one's really special because it's an arch suspension bridge. It's actually two types combined. When they were building the approaches, which are the parts that come from the right and the left, right where the arch goes to the base, they noticed a couple cracks in the main part that they were coming from the side. The west shore would be on our right side. They got that straightened out for about $5.5 million more. Then they brought the center span down from Swan Island, which is the shipyard behind us here, and they raised that whole center span up in one gigantic lift. It was the world record for one single lift on a bridge of 6,600 tons. 6,600 tons lifted that whole center span up in one big kick. Pretty cool. Been here a long time. I think all the cracks are worked out. She's holding up good now. Here we go. Thank you. Pretty rough out here, so we do get bounced around. We're throwing tricks. I think I got wetter than you guys on that one. We're good. Yeah, we're in it. Alright, so I start around here. Usually we'll throw tricks where we're going to stop and talk about something. So this is a Portland tug. It's pretty special here. It's been turned into a museum, but long ago it was retired. Kicked upriver and just pushed on the shore. Captains love this vessel. It is the last of its kind that is actually still operational, as it's a stern wheel paddle tug. Kind of dated for its time, but the captains loved it because of its power. A paddle wheel will push forward and reverse with the same amount of energy. Anybody who's driven a boat, you kind of know reverse just isn't quite as much thrust as forward. Well, if you think about a paddle wheel, it's the same amount of energy either direction, which works out pretty cool. As I said, it's an operating museum now. Bring the kids down. It's pretty cool. It actually was in a movie called Maverick also, if any of you remember that. They turned it into a casino boat. And the movies also put a bunch more money into it, as when they pulled it off the beach from upriver, it had a $700,000 restoration before it became a museum. And then the movies also put some money into it and helped keep her alive. Pretty cool. She's a staple of the area. They fire it up once in a while and blow the steam whistle. You can hear it all over the river. It's pretty cool. All right, we're going to run down. We'll get another spin in here soon. I'll let you know. Great. I'm happy to see everybody up front staying where they're supposed to be. Makes it more fun for us. So as we come around here, we are looking at the Hawthorne Bridge. This is absolutely the oldest bridge in the area. It was built in 1908. It is also a lift bridge. Carries just light road traffic, no rails on it whatsoever. Also tended by a person stays up in that bridge tender house 24/7, and as you come through with the boat, you call that little phone number if you're too tall, and they'll lift it right up for you. Almost had to do it the other day. I was driving a real big boat that moors over on the side of the seawall here, and we're only going to clear it by about 2 feet, so I was going to have to lift it up. It was a whole lot of fun. All right, right next to us here is Tom McCall Park. Very special events area, also known as the Bowl for you Portlanders who know the area. It's the last 2 miles of Tom McCall Park, comes all the way down this. Hosts all kinds of things, the Rose Festival, the Jazz Festival. Going to be a fantastic spot for 4th of July fireworks. Anything they want to do outdoors, they use this area as a perfect space. As we come along here, this is our premier private marina. Now the outside is actually public. You can moor up for overnight tie-offs or courtesy dock. You can bring your boat out here and leave it over the weekend on this dock if you like. The inside is private. There's 93 slips. All those are slip renters. I believe they do allow liveaboard for a short period of time here and there, not full time, and it's pretty expensive. All kinds of nice vessels in there, from a couple thousand to a couple 100,000. All right, we got about a few minutes left to get you guys a finale. I got to idle past all of these docks and stuff here, and then we'll get going. Throw you guys a couple more spins. And anybody want to get more wet? All right, we'll get that going. we go. I keep getting my feet on those.